Yeah, I didn't want to touch the Durango. It's been sitting prepped to be rented, but the guy canceled on me because of he wanted winter tires, right? And today's Thursday, and my Jeep developed a slight sickness in the form of a slight leak in the engine compartment. And I'm just grabbing this scraper because the front window of the Durango is all covered in ice, you see, like this, so just the blower does not help. But anyway, it was somewhere here. No, I don't see anything, but it was like where the wheel is, it was dripping. I mean, just there was a couple of, you know, some oily stuff, either coolant or oil, you know, because we had some extreme temperatures, and I know usually, I know this is when it can happen, right? So it's like, it was like minus 28 Celsius, and then it became, you know, minus 6. So the temperature was going up and down all the time, and that's when all those clamps can get loose or something. So yeah, and then yesterday I was doing Uber, and check engine light showed up on me. I know, like the yellow one, not the red, not flashing, just. And I opened the hood. I think I might be low on like there's two containers there for coolant. And they seem to be low. So anyway, I booked an appointment for Monday for the Jeep. So I don't want to drive it until then, but because I have the luxury of 2 vehicles and there's no rental in sight, might as well drive this one. Yeah, this thing has been sitting probably for 2 weeks. It just started with no problems. It's not plugged in. But I did start it about a week ago for about 15 minutes. Just warmed it up to make sure. Okay, let's go. We'll just put this. Which keys? So this one. See, everything works. And inside is super clean. All the carpets have been washed. Oh wow, some warm air comes out of there. Alright, I just need to throw this other key from the Jeep in there. What did I do with the... Oh, it's in my hand. Yeah, I just wanted to get this little tripod in case I see something interesting at work. So yeah, heading to work. Working 10-12 hours a day. Same as in construction, except it's on my terms.
It's been a while since I've been inside.
Alright, what do you have? Auto, warmed seats. Oh yeah, this one in this weather, now it's minus 19. In this weather, it's super nice to have the heating on the second row. You know, people really like it. Okay, did I take everything? Okay, I have my wallet, my phone, and I took papers. Here's my new documents for Uber and Lyft. So basically, yeah, tonight after work, I'll do some. I just have a feeling I forgot something. Phone, this, keys. I got keys. Well, I didn't take my tea, but it's okay. I'll drink water today. So time now is 6:13. I have time to stop for, like, the only, the thing I don't like, and like, this is an interesting, I can compare two vehicles, because this Durango has a older layout, like setup, and like it's a mixture of new and old, like the what do you call it, the dash is older than in my Jeep. Like, for example, in a Jeep, with a touch of a button, I can see all my, like, I can see the coolant temperature, I can see my instantaneous fuel economy, right? On this one, it doesn't have that second screen. So you have to go through, a lot of motions. Like, for example, now I wanted to check the tire pressure, because I know it was good, but tire pressure only shows up in that little tiny window on the left. But you have to be in park, and you have to play with these buttons on the left. But so I don't, in Jeep Compass, this is better, because Jeep Compass is higher trim, believe it or not. Like in that line, Jeep Compass, the Trailhawk Elite is the best one you can get, right? This one, there's still models above it, and so you get this kind of like, I would say, dated, dash. So hopefully they're continuing with Durango 25 and 26, but I think now it'll be getting a dual turbo V6, but you can still, I think they're gonna start doing the V8 again, because people were complaining, even though it doesn't get a great gas economy in the city, but people want to have choice, right? You want to have choice what engine you want to put in. You don't want the company to tell you, okay, we only have V6, you want this, or you want electric. And so now when they have the new boss, and that guy came back to the Ram truck department, what's his name? I forgot his name, but like a big horsepower guy. So now things should turn around for Chrysler and Dodge and Ram. But on the right here, I like this. I don't have this panel. See where my hand is? Because, for example, now when you do a remote start, the heated seats come on, because that's how I set it up. Like comfort. It's called comfort features, and you can choose when do you want this to apply. All starts or only remote starts, and I chose remote starts only. So when I do a remote start, the heating is turned on the steering wheel and on the seats in the first row, and then it becomes very hot. And so in the Compass, you don't have this panel here, So you have to reach here where there's a little icon for the temperature, and there's a little picture of a seat, and you have to tap it very careful and make sure, you know, when the road is bumpy, you have to hit that one exactly, and then you can turn it off. Like here, there's a button at the bottom here where your hands lies on top of the shifter. You can just extend it a little bit, and I can choose, let's say now I'm on 1, position 1, the lowest heating, and I can turn it off because my butt is already getting too hot. And the same for the steering wheel, it's all here. Actually, yeah, remote start, only my seat is heated, because the controls for this seat for the passenger side is over here. I feel like it's this angle, they worked like nicely, you know. But this one, yeah, needs to be updated. But yeah, this one, and compared of course to Jeep, this is a much bigger vehicle, you know, heavier. But I'm driving slow because the roads are still, you know, slippery. And so yeah, yesterday we didn't have much work, so they let me go at 4 p.m. See, that's what I like about the job, is that I finish early. And so I cleaned up the mats in the Jeep, checked the seats, everything is good. Went to Starbucks, got a coffee, and then I started my apps, Uber and Lyft, and DoorDash, because there's a bunch of restaurants in there. And DoorDash was the first to give me an order. They wanted me to pick up something 150 meters away. There was a restaurant, but drive 13 kilometers, what is it, like 8 miles to the north, and the pay was $9. That's what it says, $9. I said decline. So now my acceptance rate went to below like 30. And then 2 minutes later they offer me the same order, but now it pays $13. So pretty much $1 per kilometer. The only problem is that it goes one way and there's nothing there, it's just houses. So of course you have to come back. And so yeah, and it was, so I Uber then eventually gave me an order. The guy was coming from my area, from the northeast, downtown. And then when I dropped off that guy, it was non-stop, you know, like 2 minutes before I dropped him off, they gave me another passenger. Then 2 minutes before I dropped that one off, they gave me another passenger, and it was all around downtown. Or, you know, just like maybe 6 mile radius around downtown, non-stop. And when it does that, I cannot check how much money I made, because that screen is, it switches into navigation. Well, I can, but it's like, it requires an extra step that you don't want to do when you're driving. And so eventually I put pause button so that I can see like how much money did I make. Like, I'm driving non-stop here in downtown, and it was not much, you know, it was not much, because all these rides were 2-3 kilometers. And so I ended up at somewhere around like 7:20. I was somewhere like 20 kilometers away, so I said, okay, navigate me home. And I was home at 8. But technical driving, I think I did like maybe 3 hours. And so my take-home gross was like $60. You know, basically 20 bucks an hour. Not good. Something is happening with the gas mileage on this. Like it feels a bit sluggish, but my full tank of gas when I started it showed 510 kilometers, which is ridiculous because this thing has like 90-liter tank. But now as I'm driving slow and I barely touch the gas pedal, now it's like 513, 514, you know, it goes up. The estimate for the, what do you call it, till empty, distance till empty. Yeah, now it's 514. Because I think it's supposed to have that 4 cylinders out of 8 feature, you know, when it cuts off the power if you don't need it. Well, I'm in the pickup truck today. The other driver grabbed my Freightliner. Son of a gun. So loaded a bunch of scaffolding. Man, 6 frames, large frames, 5x5, 7 decks, and lots of braces, and then some base plates, you know, like a little, I don't know, 4x4 plate that so the scaffolding sits. And now this is a Ram 3500, so it was a bit low on fuel, so I stopped at this petrol pass here. And I thought, you know, I'll be going through the truck stop, so maybe we'll see some cool trucks here. Yeah, that was the life. Imagine now sleeping inside the truck, and of course you have a bunk heater, so you're not cold as long as the bunk heater's battery works, because sometimes it just dies, right? But you always worry about your truck, you know, like is it gonna start? But of course, if now it's minus 20 Celsius. If this is minus 20 or below, I would run the engine. Wow, look at this guy. That's a lot of weight. Sorry. Go. Okay, go. Where's he going? This way. That guy has either plywood or okay, lots of Freightliners, seen International. Lots of Volvos. What is this? Peterbilt. And that over there, Western Star. This guy's pulling a reefer. I see the temperature is set at 34F. He probably does not realize that it's winter, so you don't need the reefer to be on. Well, I'm just kidding. But these are super useful, you know. At first I thought they were only... I thought these guys were only moving, you know, like food. You know, whatever needs to be frozen. And then I realized that
in 300 meters, turn left onto Freeport Drive Northeast.
They also do a lot of chemicals. And this is one of the few places where a U-turn is legal, believe it or not, because it has stop signs on two sides. So
at the light, turn left onto Freeport Drive Northeast.
That's the rule for metropolitan areas in Alberta. Like here, that's how I got a ticket, right? You cannot
400 meters, Turn left onto Country Hills Boulevard Northeast.
You cannot U-turn at lights. No, sir. And here we have lots of car dealers. So yeah, speaking about dealers, so that's where I booked in this area. I booked that appointment for the Jeep. I hope.
Turn left onto Country Hills Boulevard Northeast.
I hope it's nothing serious and it can be fixed. Look at this guy. It can be fixed under warranty. But yeah, probably I just, you know, the thing with the coolant, sometimes it's tricky, you know, like a lot of places you go there and look, this guy has a rear left taillight just hanging loose. Wow, look at this. He's gonna lose it. So a lot of places, you know, like gas station, they sell coolant in of course closed containers. They're not see-through, so you cannot tell the color. You know, quite often it's like a universal, but you know, like these modern engines, they're very sensitive. And I remember, I think on this Jeep, once I did something stupid, like I added the wrong color because it was a bit low. I think I had a leak as well, like when during, it's, you know, in cold weather it can be common. And I think, yeah, I was a bit low on coolant, so I added.
Use the right lane to take the Alberta 2 North ramp to Red Deer.
I added the only, like I bought a couple of, I bought a, you know, a jug, and the guy would not allow me to unscrew the cap. I said, how do I know I'm buying the proper color? Can I open the cap? And of course caps are sealed, right? So like once you break it, you cannot. Like nobody else would buy it, right?
Use the right lane to take the Alberta 2 North ramp.
And so the guy would not allow me to open the cap, so I had no idea what I was buying, and so I bought the wrong one.
For 800 meters.
And of course now it's open, you cannot return it, you know? But some big stores like our Canadian Tire, they have jugs where you can actually see the color, right? But anyway, I'll just let the dealer deal with this. They're gonna fill it up and maybe I'll buy from them, you know, proper more
400 meters, merge onto Alberta 2 North.
Yeah, MOPA coolant. But yesterday I was looking under the hood like, wait, where's the coolant over here? Because, you know, normally it's easy to tell because it'll be hot, right? Like when you start unscrewing the cap, there'll be air hissing because, you know, I was driving like yesterday, right? Like doing Uber and stuff.
Alberta 2 North for 1 kilometer.
And that's when I noticed that check engine light. And so I opened the engine, started the lights on my phone, and I see I have two similar looking
600 meters. Use the second from the right lane.
You know,
exit 271 for Alberta 201
caps in there.
Trail.
And they both look like coolant. And I'm like, wait, why do I have two? And so when I came home, I grabbed the manual and I look at the picture of an engine bay.
Use the second from the right lane to take exit 271. Then use the left lane to take the Alberta 201 West ramp.
Turns out there are two, but one is for the turbo, one coolant system.
Use the left lane to take the Alberta 201 West ramp.
So one is for the turbo, for the intercooler, and one is for the actual engine.
Continue for 2 kilometers.
Okay, man, shut up. Like non-stop. I don't need instructions every 100 meters. You know? I have university education, believe it or not. And so yeah, it can be tricky, you know, and so yeah, what happened last time, so when I put the wrong color, and I went to the dealer, they charged me like, I forgot, $150 or something to flush out the coolant and put the new one in, because, you know, when you put the wrong color, you can do some damage to all those seals in there, right? Yeah, I hope it's not I hope it's under warranty, and or it's not too expensive to fix, because recently, you know, in winter things are not as busy, and so I don't have as many hours.
500 meters, use the left 2 lanes to take the Alberta 201 West Stony Trail ramp.
And so my salary really went down at this job. So even though it's a salary, but it's by the hour, right? So if I work, let's say,
use the left 2 lanes to take the Alberta.
so if I work only 8 hours, that's not good, you know. I need to work, well, I get good money when I work, let's say, till 5, you know, like 7 to 5, but actually we start 6:45, so, and they don't pay us for 30 minutes of a lunch break, so 7 to 5, so what is that? That's 10, right? So minus lunch, 9.5 plus 15 minutes. So 9:45, 9 hours 45 minutes. If I do that, then I get some overtime, and then I get a decent paycheck. But if I quit at 3:30 or 4, like it was happening recently, you know, and then there was no Uber, like January was dead. So finances are a bit tight right now, what I'm trying to say. And so yeah, I hope that's not a huge repair, and I don't need a new engine. Speaking about the engine, some idiot posted a comment when I was talking about rentals, you know, in Durango. Some guy wrote that the only reason I see a young guy renting a vehicle with a V8 is to swap the engine. You know, he says they steal them left and right. You know, I'm like, wait, what? I don't know what kind of village he lives in and how bad the crime is there, but here people don't just swap engines on rental cars, you know. Like, maybe you should move to Canada, you know. We are good people here, you know. It's much safer here. Actually, yeah, that's one thing, you know, in the light of this recent developments, right? So these friction between US and Canada, because I was able to compare, right? Because when I was a trucker, I spent most of my time in the States. So I even started wearing, because, you know, you're not supposed to be away from Canada for more than 6 months. Otherwise, you may be deemed as non-resident for tax purposes, and then you lose your free health care. But I tried to stay like 50-50, you know, but I would pick up something in the States, take to Canada, right? Pick up something in Canada, take to US. So I was able to compare US and Canada on a very extensive basis, right? Because I spent so much time there as a visitor. And so I would say that, yeah, Canada is a bit cleaner, you know, a bit cleaner. Mostly, we don't have as much crime. I had no idea that we actually had gun stores, you know, until Trudeau, our crazy prime minister, decided to ban pistols. And so there was a story in the media like they're banning pistols, and I'm like, wait, what? I can buy a pistol? And they say, yeah, you can still buy it if you get your firearm license, which you need to have. And the deadline was like 6 months away. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I want to get a pistol and then just go to the shooting range, have some fun, you know, pop some balloons or something. And so I started that process. If you remember, it took 6 months. First, it took 3 months to book the training session, because you cannot just do like an exam online, you know. You have to go to actual class for a weekend. And these guys are crazy busy. So like, that's a good, you know, a racket to get into, to be an instructor for these firearm courses, because they're super popular, you know, like in Canada, right? And so it took 3 months to book that appointment for the class. And then I did the training, and then we did the exam in the class at the end. So I passed. And it's not just questions and answers, but you also have to show, like we had some fake guns, you know, some disabled, like real guns, but they could not shoot, right? That were used in the class. And so you have to show the instructor when she asks you to do something, like, you know, how do you make sure the gun is safe, is empty, you know, like how do you do this, how do you do that? And so yeah, so it was like a test, but most people passed. If you don't pass, they give you another opportunity, like on the next day or something. And so I passed the written part and the practical part, and then it took probably a month to receive the results, because you needed that official paper from the training lady saying that you did the training. So that took a month, and then you submit that to RCMP, our police, Royal Mounted Canadian Police, and then it took like 3 months, and then finally my license arrived, and right away next day I bought a gun, right? And so yeah, I had no idea that we had guns, legal guns, but yeah, so far, again, they published another list of new guns that are banned, some 1,500 specific brands and models that they banned just, you know, I think in December. But mostly these are all I don't know, something that they think people can use for mass shootings, but regular shotguns, you know, pump action or semi-auto, hunting rifles, nobody taking those away, because people hunt in Canada. There's a big community that hunts. And so yeah, I remember I was able to buy this, my first gun was Mossberg 590M. Then the second one, I got a Ruger American rifle, very nice weapon. And then I got this Charles Daly, like a Turkish clone of M4, semi-auto 6-shot magazine. Nice gun. I installed the red dot on it. After I calibrated it, works, shoots fine. But then I sold the Ruger, sold the Mossberg, so, and now I just bought the like, there's always this freaking tension over here on these hills, because there's slow trucks, because these are pretty steep hills over here on 201. And so yeah, recently I bought the second gun. Well, actually it's like number 4, but for me now it's the second. So I got that Mossberg MVP Patrol in 5.56 NATO. Haven't shot that one yet. Still have to install the red dot I got for it. And I bought a little sleeve, you know, to add some rise, some height on the stock. But I don't know. I tried to install it. It seems a bit too tight, super tight. But yeah, I haven't done anything about that gun yet. But yeah, that's that I was saying. So that guns are not as easy to get here. Like, it's possible, but it takes a very long time to get your license and get it legally, you know. But then you can go online. You buy online, and they ship it anywhere in Canada. So you can buy guns, you can buy ammo. They ask for your, you know, firearm license, and they check it with the RCMP. They do their diligence, and that's it. So there's no holding, you know, period. As long as you have your license, you buy the gun, then they verify your license with the police, and that's it. They ship it maybe 2 days later. And it's supposed to come in like in a box that's covered in black plastic. But the last one just came in a regular box. But you know, and the guy left it outside of my door in a condo apartment building without my signature. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's the difference between Canada and US. It's probably, if this system for firearms was so complicated in the States, probably there would be a rebellion. But yeah, but that's why we don't have as much crime, because most people have no idea that guns are accessible, actually, legal guns, for hunting, for target practice. And that's what I do. I don't hunt, because what I'm gonna do with the meat, you know? I don't have a wife. I'm not gonna sit there and cut that bear in 60 small pieces, you know? But what I do, I just go west towards the mountains to the public land, bring some jugs of pop, you know, some fun stuff. I get at Dollarama, dollar store. Put my GoPro next to the table with all the targets and have some fun. And so yeah, and then firearms, yeah, so cleanliness, so it's a bit cleaner, but our prices are higher on everything. If you compare prices like, I don't know, retail, you know, groceries, gas, cars, everything is more expensive here. Our income tax is higher. Like, I never paid income tax in US, but I know from what I heard that here we pay much more. Let's say you make $1,000 as a worker, you'll pay more than if you were in Canada than if you were in the States. And probably the roads are better in US. Like here we have that, let's say if you want to go to Ontario, right, through Canada from Alberta, it's okay until Manitoba. Once you pass Winnipeg, and then 1 hour after that, that's Trans-Canada Highway, turns into a 2-lane road. So, you know, it's not a road anymore, and I mean not a freeway anymore. And then from that point, from the border between Winnipeg and Ontario, what is it, like 2,000 kilometers or something, all the way to north of Barrie, it's a 2-lane road, which I never saw like such a national highway. Like somewhere in the States, like you cross into US, for example. If I go south towards Lethbridge and then arrive in Coutts, Alberta, you cross the border, and on the other side there's Sweetgrass, Montana. Right away it's a freeway. It's 4 lanes, you know, like. So definitely US has much more money, you know. The economy is, what is it, 10 times bigger. And that's why Americans have a better infrastructure. Okay, I think I'm getting off here somewhere. Yeah, this is where I'm gonna drop my scaffolding.
600 meters, take exit 38 for Noseville Drive.
And then I have a pickup picking up some small, like Baker scaffolding, which is much smaller, which is like a toy scaffolding compared to what I have now.
38.
And then after that, I messed up during the recent delivery.
600 meters, use the right lane to take the Noseville Drive.
Yeah, I delivered a couple of heaters and 4 propane tanks to a guy. And I packed, they wanted some regulators, they call them dual stage regulators, so that they can use 2 tanks with the same heater. And I took the wrong ones, you know. And I hand it to the guy. He looks at them, says nothing.
The Noseville Drive west ramp,
And
then merge onto Noseville Drive northwest.
And then when I come back to the yard, my boss says, the guy called you, you gave him wrong, you know, wrong parts. And I said, he was there, I handed it to them, why he didn't say anything? know, so it's my fault, but it's not my fault. And so now they gave me the proper manifolds or whatever, regulators.
Continue
It's
on
like
Nose Hill Drive
cable
northwest
with a
for 3 kilometers.
thing in the middle. So so I drop this, then I do the pickup. Crazy guy, -20. He's running. Why are you running? There's nobody chasing you. Are they? Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So first drop big scaffolding, then pick up small scaffolding, and then go fix my boo-boo and give the guy proper cables so that he can hook up 2 tanks to the same heater. But yeah, nowadays in this kind of weather, heaters are a big, you know, popular item. Or sometimes I stop here because there's a place to park. Even in a Freightliner they have A&W. They have great burgers there. And sometimes they have a promotion and you can buy a burger with bison meat. Man, you can eat your hand, you know. I mean, well, I was trying to translate an expression from Russian, meaning that it's so tasty, it's finger licking good, as they say in English, right? But now they don't have it, so now it's just regular beef. And actually, speaking about beef, yesterday I just decided I wanted a homemade burger. So I went to my local friendly Indian supermarket and I got some frozen burgers and I baked them. It's like, you know, you preheat the oven to 425 and then they bake in 22 minutes, you know, according to the instructions on the back. They were like Angus, you know, like fancy beef. And so I baked those, but I used like a pita bread, you know, instead of a bun. I wrapped them in a pita bread, and of course it started tearing up. Things started falling out, you know, like tomatoes, cucumbers. It was a mess. So probably better to have regular buns, but I wanted whole wheat, and that pita was whole wheat. So anyway, so this is one of those new areas in Calgary, and you always wonder here, is there a cop behind me? Because the speed limit here is 50. Nobody's doing 50 unless you're here. You're going to up a hill. A couple of times I saw cops here, but see, like this guy. Okay, we're doing 43, 45. Yeah, this is a pretty much brand new area.
At the roundabout, continue straight onto Romont Boulevard Northwest.
And it's west of downtown on the other side of 201. Because I was on 201 on the ring road and I just took the exit, right? So we're outside of the ring road, just slightly. And so yeah, they call it Rockland Park. All these regular plywood houses, you know, nothing spectacular. Like, I still don't understand why they building such flimsy, you know, houses. Like, this would never work in Russia, you know.
600 meters, turn right onto
or even Ukraine. I don't know, maybe now they use this method where it's just matchbox houses. But yeah, back at home it was all either bricks, all brick, not just the siding, you know. It was either bricks or it was concrete, like usually for commercial buildings, right? Or it was lumber. You know, we had very popular in old days, they just use you know, those tree trunks cleaned up, you know, like a log house, right? Those were like most popular probably in the beginning of the last century, and then but then yeah, there was some bricks. They didn't use plywood like here, or drywall. I don't know. And so that was the first shock, you know, when I came to Canada and I saw one, you know, these half-finished houses.
Turn right onto Royston Way Northwest, then your destination will be on the right.
After they just finished the framing, right, of the house. So you could see how it was being built. I'm like, holy moly, it's just plywood inside. All right, so now I just need to look for my
Your destination is on the right.
building, and usually it's something with an unfinished garage. All right, let me get back to you. Well, it only took 10 minutes to unload the scaffolding in this weather, because you know you gotta be fast, otherwise it's cold, right? So I was running basically, grab a frame, boom, grab a deck, and I backed all the way towards the garage. Had to switch on my 4x4 here, otherwise the tires were spinning. So now I have just get by carefully here without hitting any of these nice vans. And now I'm off to my second stop, which is to pick up the Baker scaffolding. And it's not far, it's probably like 3 kilometers, but you cannot go straight. You see, like, it's straight north of me, but there's no roads there. So you have to do this. You have to do like a big circle to get to that place.
Turn left on the Romont Boulevard Northwest.
So we're going on a road trip through some desolate areas. We'll probably see some wildlife. I don't know. I didn't bring my bear spray with me today. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're not living in the forest here. Calgary is the second. I think it's
600 meters. At the roundabout, take the first exit.
I think it's the second biggest city in Canada, or is it Alberta? But anyway, like the capital of Alberta is Edmonton. But Edmonton is actually smaller than Calgary. Calgary, I think now with all the suburbs, like the metropolitan Calgary, I think it's like 1.6 million. Now imagine if the entire country has 40 million people. That's what I guess, that's what piques Mr. Trump's interest, because you know we are bigger than US in terms of land mass, but we have 40 million people. What is that, the population of Texas, right? And most people in Canada live near the border with the States.
Exit the roundabout onto Nose Hill Drive Northwest.
Like, for example, Calgary, I think I'm like 3 hours away from the border with Montana. Man, the sun is bright. To Tuscany Hill. It says here, turn left in 1.3 clicks on Tuscany Hill Northwest. But you see what's cool about this job, right? Okay, so they have trackers. They know where you are, so you cannot stop somewhere and sleep for 2 hours. But that's cool. But there's nobody breathing down your neck. You know, that's what I like about being a driver, is that even though there is a supervisor, invisible, tracking your every movement, but he's not here, right? so it makes it, you know, it's reduces the stress. Imagine when you're working, let's say in a shop, right, and there's always
500 meters, turn left onto Tuscany Hill Northwest.
and there's always a supervisor checking on you, hey, and you know, you did this wrong, you did this wrong. Oh, that's where I'm going. This is Tuscany? Okay. Maybe on the way to the freeway I gotta stop. There's a Tim Hortons over there, even though that's not my...
Turn left.
I just feel like having something hot. I had a Starbucks in the morning, but it was a decaf. But it was good. It was, you know, hot. I think in this kind of weather, what is this now? Minus 22. You need some hot, you know, beverage in your hand.
Continue on Tuscany Hill Northwest for 800 meters.
So that's why it's called Tuscany Hill. You see, like these are very nice areas. Like imagine a house sits on a hill and it looks west. Yeah, so you can see the mountains.
In 500 meters, turn right.
Actually, it's one of these areas where I was doing that wedding. Remember, I did a video, I think, about some bikers that decided to get married, and they lived together for 10 years and they have kids, but then they
Turn
decided
left
to
onto Tuscany Meadows Drive Northwest.
make it official. And it was the same kind of like situation. The house was on a hill, huge house.
In 400 meters, turn left onto Tuscany Ravine Road Northwest.
Oh wow, we're still 5 kilometers away. But it's somewhere, I think north is that way. Yeah, some very sad looking people are standing on a bus stop. Yeah, this kind of weather,
Turn left onto Tuscany Ravine Road Northwest.
you don't want to be waiting for a bus. Trust me. So 10 degrees Celsius is 18 Fahrenheit, right? So 10 and 10 minus 20, that's 36 in Fahrenheit. So we have to deduct 36 from 32. Oh, okay.
In 500 meters, continue on to Tuscany Way Northwest.
So see, I did the math. So it's -4 in American. Oh wow, look at this. A girl is walking and her jacket is open and she has a blouse with a big décolleté in Russian. That's what it means to be young, you know. They don't care about -20. Like young kids, you see that they're walking all open, all jackets open. See another couple of sad looking people. A guy is all white, like he looks frozen. All right, who pushed the button? Where are you? He hid. I was probably this lady.
Continue on Tuscany
Don't push
Way
the button.
Northwest for 2 kilometers.
It was a button for the crossing. When they push the button, the light starts flashing and you're supposed to stop. All right, we have another 30-kilometer zone. Must be a school somewhere. Yeah, that looks like a school. Yeah, those drive safe speed camera cars, they like these areas. They You'll be sitting somewhere here with flashing lights, and they have all the cameras trying to take a picture of your real license plate. So you know what, when you are in a fancy neighborhood, when people drive BMWs and Audis and Mercedes. Yeah, see Audi, and then before I saw Audi SUV. Like, they're not very common in Canada because they're expensive. Another school, but no school zone. Oh my, shoot, I missed the school zone sign because I see the end playground zone. Gotta pay better attention. Just wanted to show you guys the suburbs, you know. Man, another one. All right. Most houses look the same.
In 200 meters, turn left on the 12-mile Cooley Road northwest.
Oh, I know this one. Now I know where I am. 12-mile Cooley Road. So this takes me, like, and I don't know if you can see the mountains.
Cooley Road northwest.
This never gets tired, you know. So that's west. So now we're going north. Oh wait, sorry about that. We're going south. Shoot. I thought I was going north. Come on, Volkswagen, Touareg, Lexus. Oh, I hope this guy does not hit me. He's like all over the place. Man. So we have Lexus, then we have Mercedes SUV, and then we have Audi. Wow, what is this? Highway 1? And it always happens, you know, when I made a mistake and I was in the right lane, so I try to correct. Now all these morons are looking at me like I'm a moron. Yeah, come on, let's go, let's go. This guy doesn't even have a signal. Get your signal on.
In 600 meters, slight right toward 80th Avenue, Township Road 252.
Yeah, I know this area. This is where the fancy houses are. I did a video about this last time.
For 1 kilometer.
This is called water something. Water. Yeah, here the houses are already distinctive looking. And they're very big. See, kind of like castles around the lake. Watermark. Yeah. Because it tells me to turn right on Watermark Avenue. So yeah, I think there'll be I usually go in here. Oh yeah, so this area is called Watermark. This is where the rich people live. But this time I'm going, looks like
500 meters, turn right onto Watermark Avenue.
to the west side of this. But they look fancy outside, but inside it's still plywood and drywall. You know, still very flimsy construction.
Turn right onto Watermark Avenue, then turn left onto Waterpoint Manor.
Ah, so this is still Watermark. And it's all snow, nobody... Let me switch on my 4x4.
Turn left onto Waterpoint Manor.
Now look at this. Oh, I don't have a stop sign. Sorry about that. I'm on the main road.
In 400 meters, your destination will be on the left.
What? Is it that monstrosity up ahead? That's like a palace. Yeah, see? It's all framed, like, I call it plywood. There's probably a technical term for it, but it's matchbox houses. Yeah, look at this, at the size of this one. Holy mackerel. Like, why do you need a house like that? You know, this looks nice. Wow. Look at this. This feels like we are somewhere in Denver, Colorado, you know?
Your destination is on the left.
I'm just looking for my scaffolding. It should be somewhere outside. And it's bright yellow color, so it's easy to spot. There we go. I see some frames and some decks. Alright, I think this is it. And that's my scaffolding load. Man. Even though it's light, but there's a lot of it. And I just talked to my boss because I noticed I only have 2 pieces and the paperwork shows 4. And the boss said, hey, I already connected 2 hoses, so I actually have 4 pieces, but he already connected them. You know, it's like finicky special hoses you need to hook up propane tanks to heaters. And turns out the one I brought him yesterday, they're wrong diameter, so he wasn't able to hook them up. All right, which way are we going? So yeah, now we're heading. Hey, see, 4x4, it locks all differentials, I guess, so it's hard to turn. Oh shoot, there's a bathroom. I was needing to use
400
one.
meters, turn right onto Watermark Avenue.
This guy doing? Yeah, park in the middle of the road. Fucking moron. not sure I like this color. Gray. Definitely could do.
Turn right onto Watermark Avenue, then turn left onto 80th Avenue.
Definitely you could choose a better color, you know, for all the money they're probably spending on these. Okay, white is okay, maybe brown or red, but gray.
Turn left onto 80th Avenue, Township Road 252.
Over there's also some houses, but those are like probably multi-million-dollar homes because there's trees all over the place.
Continue on 80 Avenue for 1 kilometer.
You see they have their own private road. Yeah, there's like a house in the distance there. Actually not very fancy. Small house, because yeah, this area was just farms where just working people lived, and then rich people decided they wanted to move here. Well, just dropped off the proper hoses for the guy, and he looks so cold because he works outside, and right away he started hooking up. I see they have the hose, the big hose we brought them. It goes into the second floor, into the second floor window. I'm guessing that's where they put the heaters, and the tanks of course cannot be inside, so the tanks are outside, and right away he started hooking up the tanks to that long cable with the help of the little adapter I brought. So imagine, without this, without that small piece, like 2 small pieces, that's it. You have the tanks with propane, you have the heaters, but you cannot use them, so you're cold as heck. So now those 2 little pieces will make a difference between guys being warm and happy or cold and miserable. And so yeah, once again, I'm sorry about the mistake I made yesterday, but it looked like typical stuff we usually pick up, you know. So I picked up typical adapters or manifolds as they call them, but turns out those are for the big heaters for like 200,000 BPU, but this time I just had small ones, and so they don't fit, you know. But again, the guy was there, right? I handed him the things. He took them in his hand, never said anything. And when I left, he called the office and complained. Yeah, this is a 14th Street Northwest. It's kind of like a nice shortcut, you know, to get north.
Continue on 14th Street Northwest for 4 kilometers.
Yeah, I'm guessing, yeah. It always, when in this area, it wants me to take 14 north to 64 Avenue East. And that one joins Deerfoot Trail or Highway 2. And then it just go north towards the airport. And 64 Avenue is a nice, like east of Highway 2, it's a nice area because they have it's a huge shopping center over there. I forgot what it's called, but they have Canadian Tire, they have Bass Pro Shop, they have Walmart, you know, big stores. So I used to sit in that area when I was doing food delivery before I got my Uber license. That area was good. Like there's always something in that Walmart. Either you do a pickup, you know, just wait at a spot and they bring out the stuff to you, or you do shop and pay, where you go inside and you follow the list on your phone, and then you have to pick up the item, scan it. It's telling you if it's proper item or not, and then you just deliver them. that was cool in winter, you know, like this shop and pay. People give you tips, why not, you know? Oh, look at this. Wow, holy moly. 4 cars. Actually, all SUVs. Oh, actually, no, 3. The other one is just, they're blocking the road. And the lady is taking pictures. Oh, so the one guy hit this lady from the right. Okay, that's not good. So she's taking her time. Okay, posing, check the aperture. Yeah, it's better to put your phone horizontal. All right, cool. But I hope they have the presence of mind to move the vehicles. You cannot just block the road like this. If there's no injuries, move them out of traffic. Because now they're gonna be a huge traffic jam over here. So clear sky, right? That's when usually most accidents happen. Good visibility, but the road was probably slippery. Because a couple of times I try to stop and my wheels are locked, the wheels lock, but the pickup, because it's so heavy, keeps going. Or maybe I shall take this one, John Laurie Boulevard. It's okay. We'll keep going because after the hill, the speed limit becomes 70. But here, okay, don't look to the left. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the left. Man, I look to the left. There's a police station over here. And again, here, you know, those speed camera cars drive safe. They like sitting, like quite often you would see them over here. But on the other side, because over there it's 70 kilometers an hour, and once you close to that barn coming from that side, it's 50. And of course it's a hill, you know, when you come from that side, so you pick up speed, and that's where they try to catch you. See here it's 70. Maximum 70 begins. What's interesting that in Canada they don't write kilometers or miles. Well, actually same as in the States, right? You just see a number. And we're on top of the hill, and there's a good view from here. I'm not sure what. Okay, where's the airport? Oh, I see the tower. I see the big airport tower. Yeah, Sunday. Oh, Saturday I'm working. Saturday, yeah, I'm working in this job 8 to 4 instead of 7, quarter to 7. So instead of quarter to 7, I have to be in the yard quarter to 8.
600 meters, turn right onto 64th Avenue Northwest East.
And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do another crazy thing. I'm gonna set the alarm for 4 o'clock, and at 4:30 I'll start Uber and Lyft.
Turn right onto 64th Avenue Northwest East.
Because I'm telling you, like Saturday mornings are great. So by the time I come to work, I already have made, you know, 50, 70, 90 bucks. And so from 4:30, so I have till 5:30, 6:30, probably till like 7:15. And then I have to shut down everything and make sure I can be in the office at 7:45, you know. But I did it a couple of times. It feels great. I love driving on weekends, especially early morning. There's no traffic. You know, it's so quiet, peaceful, and you meet some interesting people. Like, I still remember 6 o'clock, I'm in the far south and I'm picking up a Russian lady with a kid, and she goes to the airport because she's flying to Mexico for a vacation. Yeah, cool. So she gave me some detail. I said, okay, so which spots are great? I never been to Mexico, so which places are safe? Like, where are you going? And she told me the name of the resort, but I already forgot. A guy from work is flying to Mexico in a couple of weeks with his family, and he was asking me, he says, how can I book you as Uber, specifically you? I said, no, you cannot do that. Like, if you start your Uber app, like, it's, you know, it's open season, whoever's in the area. But he likes my Durango because he says there'll be 4 people and lots of luggage. We need your Durango. I said, okay, just call me. We'll figure out something. Actually, some people, I read about this, I think it's in Canada. Some people, like in Toronto, they started doing their own thing, you know? Like, I guess you can get your, well, you already have your livery license, but it's different. But some people start, you know, they register like a limo service, and instead of doing Uber, of course, it's not very legal, I don't think, because they, let's say they have these new business cards, right, with their own limo service company, and when Uber gives them passengers, they just give them their business cards. You know, just call me, don't call Uber, call me. So that's what they're doing, because a lot of drivers are upset and angry about super low rates with Uber. But Uber takes, now it's pretty transparent, right? So after I drop off a passenger, I can see how much the passenger paid, and I see the Uber service fee, which is always 25%. And then there's my rate, and they deduct like $1 or something in taxes. But yeah, it was much better a few years ago, and so people are upset, and that's what the trend now is, that people saying, screw this, I'm gonna be my own limo driver. But then the problem is, the big advantage of Uber is that they give you rides in your location, right? Like, for example, yesterday I was offered a few rides, and one says 8 minutes away, no. 7 minutes away, no, too far. And basically I declined, and then it says 2 minutes away, 150 meters, bingo. You know, like, why should I drive, like, because they don't pay you for this, right? They don't pay you when you drive empty. But it's in your area. Now imagine if you have your limo service thing and you passed your business cards to all your passengers. Hopefully that nobody will complain to Uber. Otherwise,
400 meters, turn left onto the ramp to Alberta 2 North.
Otherwise you'll probably lose your Uber license. But let's say you pass out these cards, right? And then you are near the airport, and somebody calls you from the very south of Calgary.
Turn left onto the ramp to Alberta 2 North.
And Calgary is a huge city, so all the way south can be 50 kilometers away, 30 miles away. And let's say they say, oh, we need a car to go to the pharmacy. Oh, it's just around the corner, you know, 2 clicks. Well, what do? Of course, you have to refuse. You know, you're saying, "Hey, lady, I'm at the airport. I'm like, it would take me
Alberta 2 North for 5 kilometers.
half an hour to get to you, and then you're only going 2 kilometers." But then somebody else will call, you know, probably, and say, "Hey, I'm at the airport. Can you pick me up?" You know.